Hi folks, welcome back to the channel or welcome to the channel. Just bear with me for a few minutes and you'll decide if it makes sense or not. This is going to be thought provoking. I'm not holding back, I'm saying it like it is. Mark my words. There are good points and really bad ones in this analysis. If you're a true boxing fan, you'll find this interesting. I'm not on anyone's side, so I'm going to be blunt. So here is the big news. Turki Alalshik is coming into boxing with a game plan to shake things up. He's put his trust in Dana White to lead this revolution, and I know why. He wants to be the boss of UFC as well as boxing. And this is why I'm doing this video. When I heard what Dana White keeps saying, and that really annoyed me. He said and keeps saying in every interview, and I quote, I've been around boxing for a long time. I love boxing. I started in boxing. What an ass kisser. Talk about Eddie and Frank kissing ass. Dana going down it even better. He shoved his head in Turkey's ass. What a two-faced man. That's all he keeps saying. He loves boxing, and that really annoys me. So why didn't he stick to boxing? Where was he the last 10, 15 years? He knows shit about boxing, and Turkey loves his ass kissed. And on top of that, he bought the Ring Magazine belt. Why? To put himself in a position to make that belt Ultimate Championship. Kind of like what the UFC did with one champion, one belt. That's why Turkey's gone along with it, uh, so that he can get hold of UFC as well. Makes sense, right? Now, if you're being honest, boxing's been stuck in a bit of a rut. Promoters have had it their way for way too long, and the boxing organizations have been handing out titles like candy. We've seen too many dodgy title fights, stuff like the WBC, WBO, IBF, and WBO putting up title fights that weren't really title fights at all, were they? And this isn't just me being critical, it's obvious. A perfect example, Usyk losing his belt to Du Bois without even fighting for it. What was that about? Usyk defended his title against Fury, and then, just months later, they say he gave it away. I never heard of a champion just handing over a title like that. Did you? And don't get me started on the IBF taking the belt off Usyk and giving it to Du Bois without a fight. Du Bois wasn't even the one who deserved it, in my opinion. Here is where things get really complicated. While Turkey and Dana have this big vision, there are a ton of hurdles. First of all, Dana White is a UFC boss, not a boxing guy. He's had no experience managing boxers, no long-term relationship with trainers, promoters, or the sport itself. So why him? Well, I know why him. Because Turki Alalshik wants to own UFC as well. Why is he the one Turkey is putting in charge of this? Exactly like what I just said. It's one thing to be a great businessman in MMA, but boxing is a different beast with its own history rules. A network of established promoters. Is Dana really the right fit? And here is the kicker. Current promoters are not going to be happy. They've had monopoly for years, and now all of a sudden Dana White is stepping in to run the show. They're going to feel resentful, and rightfully so. Boxing isn't like the UFC, where Dana's name carries all the weight. These promoters have built brands and fighters over decades, and now Dana's stepping into the world. You can bet they're going to resist and change every way possible. But where is Dana going to get his fighters? He's not signing boxers the way he signs UFC fighters. Most elite boxers are already locked in exclusive contracts with promoters like Matchroom, Top Rank, PBC, and so on. How is he going to convince them to jump ship? Sure, big money can attract some, but it's not that simple. He's going to have to buy out contracts, offer bigger purses, or maybe even offer something different, but this is no quick fix. And even if he pulls it off, Turkey's vision will take years to become a reality. It's not going to be something that just clicks into place. Building the infrastructure, gaining the fighters' trust, and convincing the public, that's going to take a lot of time. Will the sport really be ready for this massive shift? But here is another issue, and it's a big one: the weight classes. Right now, we have 12 main weight categories, and that's what allows the sport to be inclusive for every kind of fighter from flyweight to heavyweight. What happens if we cut it down to just four weight classes or six? How are fighters going to make the weight? Will we see lighter fighters bump up to face heavier ones? What about the young up and coming boxers who are fighting in the lower weight classes now? Are they just going to be left out of the picture? And this isn't just a simple fix. Gyms around the world are training hundreds of young fighters. If you cut down to only four weight or six categories, where do these fighters go? If you think about it, most of them are training in small gyms, earning their living by competing in local fights. They're not at the top yet. Cutting the weight classes down could kill their careers before they even start. And what about the health and safety? If a bigger guy fights a lighter guy, for example, will they put Naoya Inoue to fight Tank Davis or Shakur Stevenson? Are they going to rewrite the Queensberry rules? Or is Dana and Turkey going to invent a new fighting system? If they are, then they won't have any elite boxers in the books. All what they are thinking was done years ago and didn't work. It might work in UFC, but it won't work in boxing. I already explained. UFC is a street fighting with rules. How many fights does UFC fighters have from beginning to their career and end of their career? Boxing is science. Takes years and over 60 amateur fights to polish your craft and then try to go professional. It's not as simple as UFC. So what does this mean to boxing? There is a lot to like about this new vision, but I'm not sold yet. Boxing needs a change, no doubt. I agree with Turkey and Dana that the sport has been watered down by too many organizations and too many belts. But I also think this needs to be handled with care. If you rush things too quickly, you could end up making things even messier, which is the last thing boxing needs. However, there is a chance this could be a positive change in the long run. If Dana and Turkey can find a way to integrate the best parts of the traditional system with the new vision, we might see a more streamlined and fairer structure in the future. It's going to be a balancing act, but if done right, it could reinvigorate the sport and bring fresh excitement back to boxing. Still, the risks are high. This could go either way, but if they pull it off, the sport could be reborn in a way we haven't seen in decades. So will Dana and Turkey be able to turn boxing on its head and create something new? Or will they just end up breaking the system that's already in place? Time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the promoters who've been raking in big cash are going to miss Turkey's money. And you can bet Dana is going to make sure they don't get silly prize money anymore. Only the elite fighters in Arabia will be getting the biggest paydays. This isn't going to be an easy transition. It'll take years to settle, if it ever does. But if they can pull it off, it could really change the game. And I personally think it's going to be for the better. Get rid of those five different belts, cherry pick fights, politics. And why is that? Turkey will offer much better prize money, and all the elite fighters will go for the Ring Magazine title because Matchroom, Queensberry, PBC, Top Rank, Golden Boy won't be able to afford what Turkey can afford. And at a point, Turkey will make deal with pay-per-view channels. But we shall see. Time will tell. What do you think, folks? Will Turkey and Dana succeed in revolutionizing boxing, or will it all come down crashing down? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see what your thoughts are. See you next time. Ciao.